is up, you guys, and welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where fire sports content is the name of the game. I'm Devon, your favorite sports analyst. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. Watch this episode all the way to the end because I don't want you guys missing out what I have in store for you today. So, as we know, injuries come and injuries just continue to pile up. Zion Williamson has re injured his hamstring once again. Man, Zion Williamson, it always comes up with this guy. Can't it's just like he can't get right. He just can't stay healthy. But before I dive into all that, question for discussion, should the Pelicans part ways with Zion due to the lack of consideration for physical health? It's it's like he's in the past, he had where he had to get his diet right, but he just can't stay healthy. And Zion's history of injuries, he had a Jones fracture in his foot and missed the whole 2021 season. And January 2nd of 2023, he suffered a hamstring injury and was out for the remainder of that season. And then, last year he played 70 games and averaged 22.9 points per game. And then now he re-injured that hamstring once again. And as we know, Zion, he's a freak of nature. He's the number one pick. He came into the league with the hype of being, as some people thought, the next LeBron. And you know, he played and he was coming in, the athletic dunks, attacking the basket. I mean, that's what he was known for most of the time until he started working on his shot. But 9 times out of 10, we know Zion to do that 360 dunk. He jumps in the air, 360 spin around, one-handed dunk. And, the Pelicans, it's not really looking good for the Pelicans right now. It really isn't. Zion is not the only one who is injured right now. But for Zion this season, he's only played six games in total, averaged 22.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, 8.0 assists, and he shot 45.2% from the field. And they've gone through so many coaching changes. I mean, and so many players have come and gone. Like, I truly believe one a player of Lonzo Ball's caliber, who is a pass first guy who gets the ball to his teammates. I believe that that's what Zion is probably missing because they don't have somebody like that on the court. I mean, you have Brandon Ingram, you have CJ McCollum, but they don't amount to a guy like Lonzo Ball. So he probably might be missing that. I mean, how we were able to see Zion go crazy, with his highlights. But I mean, he's done it by himself as well. But he's going to need a point guard that has that type of style like Alonzo Ball. And right now the Pelicans sit at 3-7. And like I said before, the Pelicans, it's not looking good for the Pelicans. Besides Zion's injury, you have CJ McCollum who's dealing with a adductor injury. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks. DeJounte Murray, who had hand surgery, who will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So you got DeJounte Murray, you got CJ McCollum, you got BI, but also, Brandon Ingram. Never knowing, will the Pelicans keep him, or he's been on the trade block. You got Herbert Jones with a shoulder strain out for 2 to 4 weeks. Jordan Hawkins with a low back strain out for 1 to 2 weeks. Zion just can't get it together. Not just honestly, they should part ways with Zion. Zion, I mean, at the same time, it's like even if they part ways with Zion, who what NBA team out there is going to be like, hey, I want this guy. We know I know what Zion is, his abilities are. I know how valuable he is. If push comes to shove, I mean, if I'm the owner of the Pelicans or I'm the coach, I'm gonna talk. I'm be like, hey, Zion's been with us for so many years, and things are just staying the same because he did have a problem with his diet at one point. He did have a problem with his diet at one point, and coaches were trying to get him to get right. He got a new trainer and that nature, but Zion has always been injury prone. He is a guy with a lot of talent, very athletic, very explosive at the basket, can shoot threes when he's hot. You know, get his teammates involved. He can play off the ball, but throughout his career, he's only had one season where he played the whole way. His other seasons, like 2021, where he missed the remainder of the season, injuries happen in the NBA. Injuries happen in sports, period. But if you don't take care of your body, if you don't do the necessary things that need to be done so you can be the best player for not only for yourself, be at your best, but be the best for your team, your best ability is your availability. And the last thing I want to cover before I end the show, I have some trade destinations for for the for Zion Williamson, and these are the teams I pick, and I'm just gonna tell you why I picked these teams. So number one, we have Chicago Bulls. Obviously, like I said before, Lonzo Ball is somebody who can reignite the flame, who can unlock Zion Williamson because he has that chemistry of playing with Zion Williamson and knowing his strengths and his weaknesses and knowing what he's capable of doing. So if Chicago would want to bring him there, hey, he can pretty much help out with the team. Two, we have the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors, they they brought in so many great players. Vince Carter's played there, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, right now they have RJ Barrett. They're gonna need some help, so they're gonna need a guy like a Zion Williamson who can also play defense. Zion's a pretty good defender. He can bring that to the team. Also, the Atlanta Hawks, and throughout the history of the Atlanta Hawks, they've always had that one superstar. Look at that. Look at right now. They had Trey Young, and then later on they had Trey Young and Dejounte Murray, and then now they had Paul Millsap throughout the time, Josh Smith, Vince Carter. They've always had one superstar, and this is the chance where they can bring in another star player and having to build that chemistry. The Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, LaMelo Ball. That would be great seeing Zion play with LaMelo Ball. LaMelo can is just like Zoe. He can pass. He can, but LaMelo is all in one. He can do everything. And plus, contract wise, it'll help them out, and they won't go over the salary cap. Last but not least, the Brooklyn Nets. And the reason why I say Brooklyn Nets because honestly, with what they've been doing, they bring in players, so they really don't care. They're gonna bring in whoever and pay them. As long as you're a guy who they believe in that can bring something to their franchise, they would. They had Kevin Durant, they had Kyrie Irving, they had James Harden, Ben Simmons, who's still there. You know, and I believe this will be a great big three. With Zion, Ben Simmons, who's a passer, doesn't really shoot the ball as much. We already know that, and also having Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton, all these guys. So it would be a good for Zion to get there and play for the Brooklyn Nets or play for any one of these teams. Me, I would probably say he has the best chance with Chicago, Atlanta, or Charlotte. Playing with the other Ball brother or playing in Atlanta with a team who is destined to, Trey Young wants to bring a championship to that team. It could all work out. But anyways, that is all for today's episode. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devon, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.